We all about proving people wrong. I mean, this A&M team, man, they're so physical on the defensive side. And Andre Kennedy, he's just a walking, like I said, a walking double-double. And he plays his post game very well.
Well, if you look at his stats in the SWAC right now, he is a walking double-double, 17 and 10 against SWAC competition this year. And at the beginning of the season, he was the preseason player of the week entering conference play. And I got to say, he has done nothing but improved ever since. And he, to me, should be in the running for SWAC player of the year by season's end with the way he's played so far.
Definitely. And he has a great supporting cast just from everybody all around, from Amari Gilborn, Arthur Johnson, Trey Todd, Jalen Reeder, just the list goes on and on. Walter Jones Jr., Evan Wiley. I mean, he has help. So it's not just a one-man show. I mean, he pretty much brings that energy to these Bulldogs.
And the shot is missed by Alcorn, rebounded by Brandon Miller and Dylan Howard. What more can you really say about him? The coach came in. He was known as a recruiter, especially in the state of Mississippi. He was at Mississippi Valley State for 3 years, between 2008 and 2010. And in 2 of those 3 seasons, he ended up having 2 top 50 recruiting classes that were better than Ole Miss and Mississippi State both times. So that says a lot about what he can do to revitalize the program. And he's already revitalized A&M so far very quickly.
Definitely. I mean, Dylan Howard, I mean, his team plays for him tough. I mean, in that Southern game, when Andre Kennedy went down twice with both scares, I mean, he got back up and he still kept producing, trying to win the game for his team, in which he did.
And that just shows this never give up attitude that this team got. I mean, this coaching staff, they teaching their players how to stay in the game and, hustle for every shot and every bucket.
And driving was Devin Brewer. And we have a quick foul on the play. Called against Andre Kennedy of A&M. And A&M coming into this game, they're 7th in the conference, looking to move up to possibly 6th in the conference right now, playing great basketball as of late. And get this, they have not lost a SWAC home game since last season. So that can really be a potential driving force to keep the momentum going here on home court here tonight.
Oh, definitely. I mean, just to compare and contrast, this team looks better than they did last year.
And both free throws are missed, so A&M still maintains a 3-0 lead as Brandon Miller brings the ball up the court. And this season's team so far, I think one key aspect of this team this year has been possibly, running the fast break and using their athleticism to their advantage. This team has a lot of athletes from top to bottom, led by Andre Kennedy and Jalen Reeder. Brandon Miller can run in transition. Trey Todd can knock down threes in transition. And even on down further onto the depth chart, Brandon Wright, Amari Gilborn, Evan Wiley coming off of the bench, just to name a few. They have a really, really good team at changing the tempo and running fast break. Or if they don't want to run fast break, they can slow it down. They can play half court and turn clock. As Sism has the basketball now, Miller with the basketball. Swinging it around, trying to find the open man. Reeder, corner 3, knockdown for Jalen Reeder, and it's now 6-2. Bulldogs lead the Braves early on in this contest.
It looks like the Braves are coming out in 3-2 defense.
And so far, that 3-2 defense, from what it seems, has not worked lately. As it's another missed shot, and Reeder gets the rebound.
Jalen Reeder, he is the second player on his team to average the most points. I mean, Andre Kennedy averaging 11, Jalen Reeder with 9.6, and then right behind them is Arthur Johnson, 9.4. So, as much as we talk about Andre Kennedy and what he means to his team, I mean, he has great players, too, that can take over the game themselves.
You talk about Arthur Johnson, he's out on an injury. I mean, Arthur Johnson is another great player that plays his part on this team.
And, I also look at Trey Todd, too, because Trey Todd, he puts up about 43% from the three-point line. I mean, 42% from the three-point line, rounded up to 43. He's a really consistent three-point shooter. He knocks down threes from the corner at a high clip. So they really have a good three-headed attack on offense for their starters.
I mean, yeah, and I totally agree with that, Reggie. I mean, you got Andre. He plays the post. got good vision on the court, finds the open man, Trey Todd coming off picks, shooting the three. Got Jalen Reeder creating shots, taking threes, so they got a great team and great chemistry.
Definitely. And, we have to give credit to head coach, Dylan Howard. Because he has pretty much, people laughed at him that we were going to be dead last in the SWAC. We are in a rebuilding phase, but this team shows so much potential. In recent events, they have been winning.
They're outperforming what the preseason votes were saying. And, they're really one of the more dangerous teams as of late in the conference that can sneak up on anybody and get a huge momentous win against any team of their choosing, especially as the season continues on through going into February.
Definitely. Our boys are playing great basketball.
So 6-2 Bulldogs lead right now. Corner three for Alcorn, no good. Reeder gets another rebound in transition. Miller with the ball now. Back over to Trey Todd. 1-3 was wide open for a split second. And now it's over to Kennedy. Mid-range, Kennedy, no good. Sism with the rebound. And he manages to regain possession for a second.
Hey, that's how Sism operates. He's going to do the dirty work for his team. And when you look at his stat sheet, he doesn't put up that much compared to the other guys, but he is also an enforcer, especially on defense.
And Jerron Sizzle, man, off of last game with the big finish, he is a very aggressive player. He fights for rebound, he hustles. He hustled real hard, man.
When you brought up Jerron Sism, that instant flashback to that putback dunk at the end of the game. Kennedy missed a low post layup, and Jerron Sism comes up right behind him, gets a putback dunk to pretty much seal the victory for A&M over Southern back on Saturday night. And I know he's probably geared up for another game here this evening and showing off as to what he can do for Coach Howard.
Great ball move by A&M right now.
Sism now has it. Kennedy trying to get open over Trey Todd. Corner three again, no good. And it's rebounded by Tremaine Crosby for Alcorn. And now Alcorn has the ball. But a big factor against Alcorn has to be number 24, Reginald Johnson, because Reginald Johnson at one point was putting up 20 points per game last season, but he messed up his knee, so now he hasn't been the same ever since he's come back from injury. So as long as we can keep him at bay and keep him from trying to find his rhythm and find his shot back, we should be fine here tonight. But we have a great team regardless on defense, and I'm pretty sure Howard's going to go to Andre Kennedy or even Jalen Reeder to get that matchup for making any noise.
Yeah.
Welcome back to TM Elmore Gymnasium. Bulldogs lead the Braves 6-2 early on in this early SWAC season tilt. And some quick score updates from the SWAC. Texas Southern and Mississippi Valley State just tipped off 5-2. Texas Southern leads Valley State. The Southern Jags and ASU Hornets, right now they're delayed as we speak. And Prairie View A&M leading Arkansas Pine Bluff 24-2 in their matchup. So that's a pretty interesting score right there. And here we go on the inbound now. Trey Todd catches it off the inbound. Wanted to put up the shot, but he won't. Reeder brings it back down. And in transition is Alabama's. Reeder gets the steal. Running in transition. And the Bulldogs are going to slow down the tempo right now.
What's your name? Reggie. Reggie? Oh, you Reggie. I thought it was a different Reggie. So, what you mean, Mama? What you mean? Am I
Alcorn State gets their own rebound, and it's picked up by Garan Sism, however, after the miss.
And right now we see from our Bulldogs that they're playing great defense.
They're playing great defense, playing pretty consistent offense. The three, however, is money for number 11, Maurice Howard of Alcorn, and it's now 6-5. A&M still leads the Braves by a point. Reeder with the basketball, passes it up to Trey Todd. Alcorn is still staying with that man-to-man defense, Jalen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, you know, the Braves, they must have saw how, you know, they must have to stop Andre Kennedy, but, you know, he's a hard guy to stop, and especially if you stop him, Jalen Reeder can come and he can give you some threes. Trey Todd can assist you as well. So, you know, you can stop one guy, but you can't stop the whole team.
Exactly, and they play, I mean, Kennedy is the heart and soul of this team, but they have such a great supporting cast around him. They can get hot at any point in time for the Bulldogs, as it's another missed shot by Alcorn. And it looks like subbing into the game for Dylan Howard, he's going to have Evan Wiley and Amar Goulbourne on standby right now, and they will check into the game. So Andre Kennedy and Trey Todd will come out. Goulbourne and Evan Wiley will come in to take their place right now, getting their first minutes of the game so far.
And you know that in the recent game this past Saturday against Southern, you know, it was a very high offensive game. Right now, it looks like this game might be a defensive, Reggie.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams play great defense. A&M, one of the best teams in the SWAC in terms of steals per game. They're top 3 in the conference in steals per game at about 8 steals per game. Alcorn State, however, they play very physical themselves. They have a lot of big bodies. Tremaine Crosby, 6'4", Harold Gibbons, 6'7". You know, you have Tyqualin Smith, who's 6'8", Devin Brewer, 6'8", and Alonzo Campbell, who's, get this, 7 feet tall.
That's a big boy.
That is a big boy.
Josh, when you look at just how the Bulldogs can produce on the offense, I mean, what will it take for them to not dominate the game, but, you know, just have them maintain the lead?
I mean, just basically, you know, passing around the ball, keep sharing the ball, taking smart shots, you know, trying to find an open man.
As it's a miss by Jalen Reeder, so it's still a 6-5 Bulldog lead over the Braves. Trying to run the offense right now. So Josh and Jalen, when we talk about this A&M Bulldog team, what do you really like about them outside their team-oriented style on offense?
Well, you know, just like with our ladies Bulldogs, I mean, they hustle, and they play with determination and commitment to win the game. You know, like they said, like Herman would say, you play to win the game, and that's what our Bulldogs do, from the women into the men. And as you see right now, Scissor with that easy mid-range, you know, they play to win the game, and they very efficient.
And Dylan Howard has the suit jacket off right now. He's walking around a lot on the sidelines. Relax, coach. Relax, coach. As it's a missed jump shot by Alcorn. In transition is A&M. Miller pushing the pace. Over to Wiley for the three. Money for Evan Wiley.
And he knew that was going to go in, Reggie and Josh, as soon as he left his hand.
And Reggie, going back to the offensive game, I mean, you got any player on this team that can go off, man. So it's hard to know who to guard each night, day and night.
Exactly. You know, you may think you're doing something when you stop Andre Kennedy, but you have a Jalen Reeder, you have a Trey Todd, you have a Sism who can come out of nowhere. Any of these guys can produce. And, you know, that's kind of what I like in a team, you know. You know, you can have your star, but if he has a supporting cast, and it's to the point that it's not longer just a star, it's, okay, well, he's not producing well today. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get 20. Okay, I'm going to get 15 boards. You know your positions, you know your roles.
And Andre Kennedy will sub back into the game for Garan Sism. You know, speaking of knowing your roles, I mean, pretty much everyone knows what to do, and Dylan Howard's really built up a really good system on offense and defense, and that's been pretty effective so far in SWAC play this year. 2-4 in the conference right now, and holding down their home court. They're still undefeated at home. Out, Gilborn for the three, no good. And Kennedy tried to save it.
Into the ball game for Alcorn State.
Dylan Howard got a pretty big win last time out against Southern, his old mentee. And now he's going to get another big win here tonight against Montez Robinson, head coach of Alcorn State. 11-5 Bulldogs lead the Braves. We're back with you in just a moment. And here come the cheerleaders onto the court as we speak.
Yo.
We are back once again. 11-5 Bulldogs lead the Braves. Alcorn State coming in here, throwing a 2-game road swing here in the state of Alabama. Last time out they took on ASU on the road, and now they're up here in Normal, Alabama to take on the Bulldogs right now. And A&M will soon go on the road in Texas as they'll take on Prairie View and Texas Southern to kick off February. We're coming back home on February 9th.
Oh, yeah, that explains that Texas two-step, huh, Reg?
Yes, it's a Texas two-step. You're right. It is. It is. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
Whatever makes sense to you, Reggie.
That's Alcorn's number 12. Deshaw Andrews gets the layup to go. And look, it's a Texas two-step. You take one step down to Prairie View, take the other step down to Houston. That's just how it is. As Reeder puts up a long three, no good.
Well, you know, minus the miss, the Bulldogs, just like against Southern, you know, they controlling this early part of the game.
As the mid-range jump shot is no good. Rebounded by Miller in that hustle once again.
Ooh, you
coming
talking about
into effect.
hops.
Reeder, he'll drive, nearly blocked. Rebounded by Kennedy. We have a foul against Alcorn right now.
And that's that hustle I was talking about from Brandon Miller. I mean, great job to hustle down there and grab the rebound of the taller defender.
Exactly. You know, if the Bulldogs win this game, it says a lot about just the coaching and just the team in general. I mean, you know, Alcorn State has beaten these guys so many times, has beaten us so many times, but, you know, to finally end that drought, to snap that streak they have will be impressive.
I mean, to be fair, they did snap their streak against Southern because Southern came in last game and they swept A&M last season, both home and away. So they were able to do that. They can do this right here against Alcorn.
Exactly, exactly. You know, it's mostly just about chemistry and how do the teammates know each other? How can they reflect on each other?
And here we go, 13-7. Bulldogs lead the Braves early on in the first half. Three-pointer, he wanted it, but he'll pass it up. Trying to find the open man.
And it seemed like the Braves had a plan to find a three, but it did not work out for them.
And then with a strong 3-2 defense.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, their defense has gotten better compared to last year. I mean, they are more focused on just trying to recover from that ball, recover the ball, and, you know, try to make that turnover into a point.
You're right, man. I mean, you can tell what condition they in, man. I mean, look how they shift in the 3-2. They shift as one. So, you know, they're looking better with their defensive game this season.
And Maurice Howard puts up a three, and it's money. And that's one of the few times he's had a somewhat decent open look here on offense. A&M so far playing really good lockdown perimeter defense. They like to attack the passing lanes and get steals left and right. Reeder gets it down to Wiley. Over to Todd.
I thought Reeder was going to try to distract them so he can feed it to Reeder.
That's another missed shot by A&M in transition. Wiley playing defense, and he gets called on for the foul. Plus one more at the free throw line.
Got the basketball, towards number 4.
So when we talk about A&M so far this season, what has impressed you the most out of what Dylan Howard has done so far?
Pretty much just not overreacting to key situations. you know, when you lose or when you're trailing, you know, they don't panic. You know, they keep fighting and fighting until it's 0-0 on that scoreboard.
And I agree with Jalen, man. I mean, the chemistry these guys have and what Dylan Howard been, you know, teaching these guys is amazing. So they're a very great team, and they hustle and they got heart, man.
What I like about this team so far is they're learning as every single game goes along. You know, I think this team last year was really playing not to lose, and you're starting to see them play to win. And as of late, they've learned how to win as each single game passes. They figured out what they've done wrong and have capitalized on it that very next game. And so as of late, you're seeing Coach Howard and his team being able to close out games more efficiently now and more effectively, and that's why they're currently in the running to make the SWAC tournament as we speak.
Oh, most definitely, Reggie, most definitely. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, people laughed at this Bulldogs team. They laughed at us thinking that, you know, they can just come to our house and just beat us and not even wipe the feet outside, Reggie. But they know that when they come here, you not only got to wipe your feet off the mat before you enter the house, because that's disrespectful, Reggie. But you know that you're going to be in for a dog fight, no pun intended. You're going to be in a dog fight with us. But it is disrespectful, you know. You got to wipe your feet off the mat before you enter the house.
Don't like a muddy house.
Exactly.
That's almost stolen by Kennedy. Now, he drew contact, ref. You know he did. He wasn't tapped. He wasn't hit. At the free throw line right now to Shaw Andrews. Shaw Andrews coming out of York, South Carolina.
So, Reds and Jalen, like, what do y'all guys think that A&M could do to get that offense going?
I think simply put, just play consistent. Go to your main guy, Andre Kennedy. Go to Trey Todd at the corner. Don't be afraid to take jump shots. They weren't afraid last game. Don't be afraid tonight. I mean, as long as you find that offensive consistency, that will lead to great defense and vice versa. When you play great in one category, it opens up the floodgates for everything else. So if you just stay consistent, you'll be fine. You can come back into this game and get this big W at home.
That's true. And also, you know, you just got to find a groove, a good groove. Somebody got to be, you know, you got to have that shot creator to, whether or not he's taking the shots, you got to have an assist or something. You got to have something that's just going to pretty much energize the team and go for a run.
Here we go, working the ball around. Right with the basketball over to Miller. Wiley wants the three, but he won't do it. Down to right in the easy bucket down low, and that's that offensive consistency that we were talking about. Tied up at 15 apiece with just over 7 minutes to go into this first half.
And like you said, Reg and Jalen, I mean, it's going to be a good defensive game, man. They're going tick for tack.
Oh, yes, definitely. But, you know, in order for us to get energized, exactly, still just like that, if they can take advantage of it with the putback and a rebound.
Almost had it. Wiley puts up a three. No good. Sism had to put back in his hands.
And, you know, if that was made, you know, that would have pretty much maybe transitioned the Bulldogs to open up on a run.
What I do like about this Bulldog defense is that it's a very opportunistic defense. It's a very calculated defense. They're not going to play lazy at all. They play tough every single possession, and that's why they're one of the best teams in the conference at getting turnovers and takeaways.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're very defensive-minded. And when you see these guys, you know, you're not going to put up a big score against these guys if you beat them. You know, they're going to play you defensively straight till that clock hits 0-0. And, I mean, just, you know, you see these guys. You see the energy in Evan Riley. You see the energy in a Jalen Reeder, a Sism, you know, who can just get boards, too, at any time he wants.
Another three for Alcorn, this time way off the mark, air ball. And he will throw it to the assistant coaches. Wrong team, wrong player, sir. We have a timeout on the court. Alcorn leads A&M 17-15 with just over 6 minutes to play in the first half, fellas. We're going to have another close game here tonight.
Yo.
And we're coming out of that timeout. Bulldogs down by 2 against the Alcorn State Braves right now. Trey Todd, corner 3, almost goes in.
I mean, it left off his hands perfectly, but just couldn't finish. But, you know, with the way the Bulldogs run that offense, there'll be more opportunities.
Well, you know, Kobe, he was missing all of his shots in practice. So he got an official. He had to measure the rim, and it was less than an inch off. They readjusted the rim, and he started making his shots again. I'm serious. So I'm like, huh, really?
That's crazy.
I mean, so I don't know. We might have to check the rims right here, get a screwdriver, you know, adjust a little bit. All those dunks that we had against Southern, I don't know. And the free throw is up, and it is good, and it's now 19-15. Bulldogs down by 4 right now, but they've been in this hole plenty of times, and they have the experience up top to lead the charge at any point in time. It's Allen Howard, over 20 years of experience coaching college and high school basketball. And it's a beautiful jump shot made by Garon Sism. It's now 17-19. Allen Howard's old stomping grounds of Tennessee and Mississippi. Now he has stomping grounds here in Alabama.
And man, what a great school to work with. I mean, just like Alabama A&M, it's a great opportunity.
And did you know Allen Howard used to play pro basketball over in Asia? So, yes, in Asia. So he's been all around the world and learned from some of the very best, I'm pretty sure. And instills those same philosophies here. 3 ball, no good. Rebounded by Miller, and that's another tough rebound.
And the height by Miller.
Todd to Kennedy. Kennedy loses it, puts up the hook shot, and money for Andre Kennedy.
Looks like Andre Kennedy feeling it now.
Definitely. I mean, he had Sism open for the 3, but Kennedy he saw the opportunity and he went with it.
I mean, when you're arguably one of the best players in the conference, you gotta always you have to always put up the shots that you feel confident making.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's another 3 for Maurice Howard, 22-21. So this is a very, very competitive back and forth contest here early on.
I mean, this is what we would like to see. You know, we don't want to see just a domination. I mean, that would be great, but you know, a good, close, competitive game that we are in, and we're playing great. We pretty much are playing being equal to the Braves.
And Alcorn State right now has a 3-point 24-21 lead, and here comes Brandon Houston getting ready to check in with Jalen Reeder as well for A&M. Trey Todd to Sism. Back over to Miller. Screen set. Motioning the offense right for 3.
And that's a foul.
Foul on Alcorn's number 4.
And that is a foul called against Alcorn. We have a timeout on the court as well, 24-21. Braves lead the Bulldogs early on in this game, but 3:31 to go in the first half. Let's see if the Bulldogs can make that comeback that we know that they can make.
Yo.
Come out of this timeout, and real quickly I want to let everybody know here at the campus of Alabama A&M University, Dancing with the President and the First Lady, Ernest Knight Learning and Living Complex, Friday, February the 15th, 2019. And Dr. Bernice A. King will be here on February the 12th as a part of Black History Month here at Alabama A&M University.
Definitely the daughter of the late, great Martin Luther King Jr. That's going to be a very great event.
Time for Bulldogs for 3 is Brandon Wright.
And we talk about Martin Luther King Jr., man, all the stuff he did for our cultures, you know, all the The people, good people, you know, they did for our coach. You know what I'm talking about, but
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, he had a non-violent protest, basically, just like Gandhi. That's who he pretty much admired for having a non-violent protest, while others in our community had a we're going to fight back mentality. But Martin Luther King never expressed no fighting, even when there was threats and attacks against him and his family. You know, he always preached non-violent.
and we talk about Martin Luther King. Not only Martin Luther King, you know, we had the women who fought for rights. You know, we got Rosa Parks. She was a strong woman, fought for our rights. So it's a great culture.
And it's all about honoring your black culture and your black legacy, and you want to be able to continue on to lead this new era of black greatness that was paid for us to have into the future. And HBCUs exemplify that the very best, especially here at AAMU, Alabama A&M University. In the house as well as President Dr. Andrew Houdini Jr. over there in the bleachers, this time wearing a black suit. Against Southern, he was wearing that beautiful maroon suit jacket. This time going with the standard black this time. I have those little tidbits that I point out here and there, you know.
Hey, you just see you see a lot of things, Reggie. Nothing wrong with that.
What is that supposed to mean?
I wasn't supposed to mean nothing, Reggie.
Look, okay. I point out different stuff. That's I like to do that.
Of course, you're very observing. There's nothing wrong with that, Reggie.
Oh, knowing. Andre Kennedy goes down for a little bit, but he gets right back up.
It seems he got hit in the face or something.
State's number 10, Toby Wilson. Wilson's first, team 6.
So 26-22, Braves right now in front of the Bulldogs as we speak. The Braves wearing their purple and gold, A&M wearing that crisp white with maroon stripe going on right now.
Exactly, and our Bulldogs are just trying to defend the home court here against these Braves.
And we see Brandon Houston checked in the game. Like, what do you guys think he can do to help change this league?
Brandon Houston has an underrated face-up game, and last year we saw bits and pieces of it here in SWAC competition. I mean, it's a very underrated face-up game, and that's a very beautiful compliment to Andre Kennedy's face-up game, and even to a lesser degree, Evan Wiley's. So to have him, and then he's 6'7", he's a big body, 267, so has a lot of weight as well, so he can get a lot of rebounds and defend the low post. So he's a really, really great player providing quality minutes. 24-26 right now, A&M down by 2. Trying to tie this game right back up and get the lead right back to where it belongs. Pull up J money for Tremaine Crosby. And on the court right now for A&M, Brandon Miller, Jalen Reeder, Andre Kennedy, Brandon Houston, and Trey Todd. Going with the more jump shot oriented lineup as Kennedy gets the shot to go, but he will get called on, I want to say, for a charge.
Ouch, and that guy's tough.
Offensive foul against the Bulldogs, number 1, Andre
Dallin Howard
Kennedy.
going with a face-up lineup. Trey Todd, the sharpshooter. Brandon Miller can get jump shots in the mid-range game. Wiley, a great all-around mid-range and low-post scorer. Reeder can knock down threes in transition and off the dribble. And, of course, Brandon Houston, the low-post face-up center. Trying to play good defense to have the double team going on at one point. Coach Howard, in his first year as coach, already transforming this A&M program around. And Kennedy gets the rebound right now.
And now we're going to see how the Bulldogs are going to try to get back in this game to cut that lead that the Braves have over them.
You know, I haven't seen Walter Jones Jr. got in the game yet.
That is true. Because Andre Kennedy gets the big slam on that last possession with the pass from Jalen Reeder. But that is true. Walter Jones Jr. has not come into this game just yet. And we're about to enter halftime. This is a pretty interesting sight.
Right. I mean, Walter Jones Jr. is a great defensive player, so I'm looking forward what Dallin Howard has to go for him in the next half.
And it's a badly missed three by Alcorn, and it will go straight out of bounds. So with 47 seconds to go in the first half, A&M down by 2, 26-28.
As the Bulldogs have been playing this first half, I mean, they haven't been playing out of control. I mean, they have missed some shots that should have came easy, but, you know, they still have been producing very well against this Braves team.
And I got to say, so far, A&M is playing a great game. It's just going to be one of those back-and-forth contests that will go down to the wire. And the ball will go out of bounds. And that is A&M possession. Hold on, they're going to discuss here. Wow, so they're going to award the possession to Alcorn. A&M is wondering, wait a minute, we were expecting to get the ball back coming out of bounds, and this crowd does not like that call one bit.
Yeah, that's called for a review, man. I don't think that's the right call.
We have a timeout on the court. Alcorn leading by 2, 28-26.
Yo.
Final 22 seconds in the first half. A&M down by 2. Here we go. It's been an all-around great game from both teams. A back-and-forth contest, grit and grind, defensive-oriented. And we have another foul called on the court.
That's a bad call, man. I really think Brandon Houston had his feet set.
I thought he did too, but they're going to give the foul to Alcorn. In the final 13 seconds of the first half, Braves have a 4-point lead, 32-26.
Well, you know, guys, just looking at the Bulldogs, I mean, that second half, they're going to have to execute more on that offense.
And we know they can.
Oh,
They're just filling each other out right now. Whenever two great fighters go at it in the ring, you got to fill each other out.
Exactly. It's not a beat down. It's nothing like that. I mean, A&M is still in this game. They can take over whenever they want, basically.
So we have another foul called on the court in the final 5 seconds of the first half, 26-30. And Brandon Miller is at the free throw line.
Checking in for Alcorn State is number 12.
And Dallin Howard won't do any substitutions. He will keep his same 5 on the court. It's no good. Rebounded by Trey Todd. Out. Reader 3. And he doesn't get that to go. And going into halftime, Dallin Howard looking to make the adjustments necessary to get the big win. 30-26.
Yo.
Josh, what do you expect for the Bulldogs to do so we can come back and take over this game?
Well, Jalen, I'm pretty sure Dallin Howard had spoke to the players, you know, try to get them going, you know, try to get that. They need to get that offense game going right now, man. I mean, they're having a lot of open shots, but they have to knock them down. So I'm looking forward for them to do a better job on the offensive side.
Well, definitely. And we have pretty much the same percentage-wise as they do with rebounds, with three-pointers made and attempted, and free throws as well. So, if anything, we just have to execute a little bit more on the offense.
And you're right, man. I mean, us being the smaller team, we doing a good job on the rebound and defensive side. So we just need to get this offense game going, man. That's the key point right now.
I think on my end of the spectrum, it's the fact that Alcorn has been really ineffective with Reginald Johnson. Last year, he put up nearly 21 points per game. So far this year, he hasn't been himself since he messed up his knee. He's only putting up really about 10 points per game. The offense is relying heavily on Tremaine Crosby of Alcorn, and A&M is exploiting that right now. And as long as A&M continues to be consistent on offense, if it comes down to a late game situation, I don't think Tremaine Crosby will have the experience enough to try and get Alcorn the win. And I think Andre Kennedy for A&M will have that experience over him to get the win tonight.
Definitely. And you know, with this game, it's still close. I mean, we're only trailing by 4 points, guys. So, I mean, it's nothing to worry about or stress over about. We got 19 minutes into this game.
Yep.
And, you know, we just have to keep playing our role. And I think, really, you know, we've been using Kennedy, but I think we should have Rita come up or Todd come up or somebody to really make that big play that really changed the momentum in our way.
And I totally agree, Jalen. I mean, it's hard for Andre Kennedy in the post because, you know, you got taller defenders this game. You know, so we need to space the floor out, you know, try to get a couple jump shots and a couple three-pointers going.
I think if I'm A&M, simply put, outside of Evan Wiley, I would try to get Brandon Houston a little bit more incorporated into the contest, because I think to me he's a very underrated player that's been kind of underused to a degree. Now, when you have Evan Wiley and you have Deron Sism, Jalen Reeder, and Andre Kennedy playing way out of what they're used to playing and playing great basketball this season as a whole, then it does hold you back a little bit from playing. But I think they should go to Brandon Houston, get another big body in there in the low post, and get some weight down there and get some more big bodies. As Todd has the basketball now, trying to move it around, run the offense. Second half just started.
Definitely. We see the Bulldogs, they're taking their time. And we see Riley for the shot. You know, that's what the Bulldogs need to do. They got to find their groove in this game.
As long as they find the open man and don't put up bad shots, I think they'll be fine and they'll get in their groove regardless. I think as long as they know that they can work the ball around and play a good motion offense, they'll be just fine. And Jalen Reeder had a great look on that last possession, just couldn't quite knock the shot down. Reeder, another good look. Doesn't get it to go. Wiley has the rebound, but it touches the top of the basket. And Alcorn will regain possession. Inbounding for Alcorn is Tremaine Crosby.
And Walter Jones Jr. still hasn't seen the floor. I wonder what's going to happen later on in this half.
We're going to find out definitely. What I find interesting about Alcorn's side of things is compared to A&M, they did not stay true to home. They stayed close to home in terms of the region, but there's only one person on the active roster right now who is from Mississippi. Whereas A&M, you have Trey Todd, Brandon Miller, you have Trey Todd, Brandon Miller, Brandon Wright, you have Deron Sism, Evan Wiley, Brandon Houston, Walter Jones Jr. They're all Alabama natives, and Dylan Howard really stressed this year, we're going to keep things local, we're going to keep things native to us, and make this team as homegrown as possible.
I mean, what better way for that? You know, you get the natives here from Alabama, and, you know, you can show that, hey, we can get guys from our own local city, and we can produce, and we can be a threat to the SWAC.
And here we go. The drive inside. Missed shot. And we have another foul on the court.
Fouls on 0, Tremaine Crosby. His second personal foul, team's first.
So inbounding for A&M is Deron Sism. And here comes Brandon Miller bringing the ball up the court. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, dancing with the president and first lady at Ernest Knight Living and Learning Complex, February the 15th. That is a Friday. And Dr. Bernice A. King will be here as well on February 12th, 2019, and night as well, honoring Black history with all those who paved the way for us to be here today. Houston's going to back him in the hook shot. Money for Brandon Houston.
I mean, great moving on that post. I mean, he just threw it up in there and it went in, bank shot.
Yeah, that was a great post move by Brandon Houston, man.
And hopefully they're going to use Brandon Houston more effectively, I believe.
Well, definitely, you know, you have to, you know, when you get a build-up, you know, it starts small, and then every possession, it grows and grows depending on what happens, so that way you can try to form a run.
And bringing the ball up the court right now. Brandon Wright with the basketball. Screen set. Says I'm trying to work the ball around. He'll put it up himself, and he'll knock it down with ease.
Hey, he saw nobody else open for the ball. He said, heck, I might as well shoot it up, and it worked in his favor.
36-31. And we have a foul that will go A&M's way. The basket does not count.
Offensive foul against Alcorn State's number 12, Deshaun Andrews. Andrews' first personal foul. Team
You know, and it's just little things like that that can kind of slowly start changing the momentum for our Bulldogs. You know, this is the second time in a row that they have fouled and turned over the ball, and now our Bulldogs can get a chance to take advantage of this opportunity.
Down low, Wright gets the foul with it.
There we go. You see, it's a slow build up, and then gradually it will increase and increase to where these Bulldogs will take the lead again.
And that was a great pump fake by Wright, man. I mean, he anticipated the defense, and he went up for the shot and got the N1.
I really believe A&M, they're going to start doing things to get Alcorn State frustrated even more, to force Alcorn State to foul them more, to get to the free throw line, to get those easy chances that they can make, that they know that they can make. As long as you get them frustrated, you should be fine. And so far, they're doing just that.
Well, definitely. You know, they are very frustrated, especially when they have the ball and they have to turn over because of an offensive foul. And then the Bulldogs capitalize off that mistake.
As it's a wildly missed three by Johnson, but he will get his own rebound plus the putback. So 38-34, down by 4. Todd over the Sism, puts up the jump shot.
Throws it again.
Ooh.
And it looked like, you know, Sism, he is producing very well in this game right now. I mean, that's what we talked about. You know, when Andre Kennedy is out or when he can't produce as good as she usually does, you know, you have other guys to help take that weight off your shoulders. And Sism is doing that right now.
And it looked like Jerron Sism still got that spark after the dunk last game. So he's having a great game tonight, guys.
And there was some good defense played by Brandon Houston, but just not enough. And Alcorn maintains that 4-point lead. But like you said, that face-up game for Garan Sism coming in very effectively just now. That's his, I think, third mid-range take that he's put up and made as well. As Miller puts up the 3, no good. Sism gets his own rebound.
Sism fought for that rebound and got it back down.
Todd over. Wright will drive back to Sism. Trying to find the open shot. Shot clock is winding down.
All right, nice pass. And Trey Todd with the easy layup.
And Trey Todd getting himself open just enough. The window was there. And the beautiful reverse inside to make it 40-38. A&M not backing down just yet.
And that's what, go ahead, Josh.
And that's a great job by Trey Todd, not giving up on the play and hustling for the cut. And Brandon Houston got him for the 2 points.
Then we have a timeout on the court. 42-38. Alcorn leads A&M, but only by 2. The Bulldogs are already within striking distance here earlier on in the second half, as we're going to have a very, very close game here in this battle of 2 SWAC opponents.
Yo.
Coming out of the timeout right now. A&M down by 2 to Alcorn.
And, you know, we talked earlier about just Jerome Sism just contributing 9 points, 4 out of 6 for field goals. I mean, he has a 3 and he has 5 rebounds. He is producing well for our Bulldogs right now.
I mean, oh, you got it, Josh. You got it, Josh.
Nah, well, I was gonna say, I mean, Jerron Sism, he's doing an excellent job. You know, he boxing out his man, doing the face-up shot. He's doing a great job right now.
Sism has a pretty underrated mid-range game. Him and Brandon Houston alike. Very comparable. Houston has the weight. Sism has the height. But on the court right now for A&M, Amar Goulbourne, Brandon Miller, Andre Kennedy, Trey Todd, and Garon Sism with the beautiful hustle play by Sism.
And a great pass by Sism as well. That could have been an easy turnover.
And now they're going to reset the offense.
That's what they need to do. That's what we need to do. Just relax, take our time. Great save.
Over Goulbourne, corner 3, and knocks it down.
And that brings us back to trailing by 1. And you see, that's what the Bulldogs are doing. They are just relaxing. They're not worrying or anything. They're playing their game.
And we have a backcourt violation.
And you see, that's what happens. It slowly builds up. You know, you're not going to energize the crowd for one play. You got to keep building it up, and that way, once you start seeing that momentum switch a little bit, you take advantage of that, and that's what the Bulldogs are doing.
Here we go. Miller gets free, but he won't put up the 3. Kennedy with the basketball, trying to post up. He will. Drives, hook shot left, and it's money.
And that brings the lead back for us.
Here we go. They're getting excited on defense now. They're getting energetic. They're trying to wait. They're trying to drain them physically and mentally. 3 from Johnson. No good. Rebounded by Trey Todd in transition. Here we go. Over to Miller. He will drive. Back to Kennedy. Puts up another one, and it's
Kennedy again coming up.
And there go the game we've been talking about by Andre Kennedy. I mean, he's feeling it right now.
Exactly. You know, Sism, he was building it up, and Andre Kennedy is now taking it over.
Oh boy, fellas, A&M back with the lead, 45-42 with 12:44 to go in the game. Dylan Howard right now has a lot of things dialed up, going his way.
Yo.
Coming out of the timeout, A&M leading 45-42. If you're just tuning in, I'm Reginald Reese. Alongside me is Shaylin Herford and Josh Bullock. We're live to you from TM Elmore Gymnasium. 12:44 to go in the game. Bulldogs regain the lead, led by Andre Kennedy and Amari Goulbourne just now. And some updates from around the SWAC. Texas Southern down by 2 to Valley State, 42-38. Southern and ASU are tied at are going into halftime at 35-34. Southern leads ASU. Prairie View up big on Arkansas Pine Bluff, 59-34.
And, you know, before that timeout, the Bulldogs playing great basketball, not losing their cool, you know, slowly trying to build back up and gain that lead. I mean, that's what they have done in the second half.
You're right, Jalen. I mean, they got to take that momentum and take it down to the wire, man.
Well, this is where you have to start closing out games and show off everything that you've learned in games in the past and the years leading into this season. You have to prove to everyone else in the conference what exactly that you were building for. In moments like this is where you make that, is where you prove to everyone else what exactly you're made of.
Well, definitely. And not only just build, I mean, pretty much show the conference, but show yourself too. You have to believe in yourself in order to, play so good. And I mean, this is the Bulldogs doing. They're showing not only just the SWAC conference, but themselves that they can play at an elite level.
So it's tied up at 45. Once again, this back and forth contest is going to be hard for anyone to try and gain a huge advantage. Tied up at 45 apiece right now here in the game.
Yo.
Tied up at 45 apiece right now. Bulldogs versus Braves. The second game of this doubleheader between A&M and Alcorn State. The A&M Lady Bulldogs defeated the Alcorn State Lady Braves 87-69. A dominant performance earlier this evening for the Lady Bulldogs.
And you're right, man. I mean, the Lady Bulldogs played a great game and delivered the win tonight.
Here we go. Trey Todd with the basketball now, slowing it down.
And Trey Todd with the quick feet.
Sism. About to say, was that a pump fake? And we have a foul on the court.
Correction, foul is on Alcorn State's number 10, Kobe Wilson. Wilson second, team fifth.
And it looks like inbounding for A&M will be Trey Todd, the 5'11" guard out of Phoenix City, Alabama. Trey Todd, one of the sharpshooters on this A&M team, putting up 43% from the three-point line this season. A big-time corner specialist. As Sism will drive, turn around, gets it knocked out of his hands, but regains possession as Todd will force the foul.
And the and one.
Very tough drive by Trey Todd, man.
That was a great hustle by Sism to recover that rebound.
Andrews, second personal foul, team 6. At the line for the Bulldogs with one shot is number 3.
So with the way this A&M team has played as of late in this season as a whole, should other SWAC teams be on the lookout as A&M as a potential dark horse to make a deep run into the SWAC tournament?
Most definitely. Like I said, when you come to our house, it's not going to be an easy win. It's not going to even be a win, really, because you're going to have to play from the start of the clock to the end of the clock just to beat us. And I mean, you see, the Braves had been dominating the first half basically, but in the second half, it's a tale of two tales. The Bulldogs have been performing better. They haven't overstressed themselves. They haven't done anything to say that this game is over with. They still believe in themselves, and right now that's why we have a 3-point lead over the Braves.
And you're right, Jay. I mean, A&M's like a Cinderella team, man. Team's going to take A&M for granted, and they're going to be disappointed after the loss.
Definitely. That was a great play by Amari to get that foul.
A&M still has that 3-point lead. Like I said before, as of late, 7 seeds and 8 seeds have done really well at knocking off 1s and 2s in the first round of the SWAC tournament. A&M could be one of those teams. And with this win, they could even inch up even further in the SWAC standings to possibly 6th with a win here tonight.
Rez, I can see it happen because these Bulldogs, they fight, man. They fight, and they got a lot of heart, and I see a lot of good chemistry on this team.
So the free throw was missed, so it's still 48-45 right now.
And it's just more than just good chemistry. Is when one player's not doing so well, somebody takes over. It's pretty much next man up for these Bulldogs, and that's what they have shown throughout several times this season.
Trying to find the open man, driving, and it's no good for Andrews, but Alcorn will get the cleanup crew working with Brewer. So 48-47, A&M still maintains a 1-point lead. On the court right now for the Bulldogs is Brandon Wright, Andre Kennedy, Trey Todd, Kamara Goborn and Garon Sism. Speaking of Sism, he'll get the basket underneath. It's 50-47.
I mean, great assist by Kennedy to just throw it to him right under the goal. And I mean, Sism took his time, pump faked, and then threw it back up. You know, those two, they have been performing very well. They've been complimenting each other in this game.
And the three's off the front rim in transition. Trey Todd pushing the pace. Spins around, back to Kennedy. Sism puts up a jump shot. Way off. And this is a jump shot in return, and this time it's good for Alcorn.
Well, now we're tied. You know, this is a great game, guys. I mean, you don't know. You know, 1 minute we're up, 1 minute Braves up. You know, this is a great competitive game, and this will go to the last wire.
I think we have the veterans that can close out any game. And, you know, I think this game will be another example of what A&M can do in crunch time situations like this.
Okay, guys, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Who you think is the clutchest player on A&M team?
Oh, boy.
To me, it's going to be either Sism or Kennedy, especially how they played against Southern and to close out those Jaguars Saturday night.
Mine is Andre Kennedy. I mean, he's a walking double-double. He's long, he's athletic. Garon Sism gives him a good compliment, but I'm going to go outside of that and say Trey Todd. I think Trey Todd is that one player, he's that sniper that really puts them in positions to win, and Kennedy takes advantage of that and just completely closes it down and, you know, gets the big win for A&M.
Going outside the box, okay.
And I totally agree with Reg. I mean, Trey Todd, he's a great physical player, you know, and he's a catch and shoot player, so you know he can hit big shots in the big game, man.
And you know, we know Howard, he coaches great, and you know he knows how to strategize. You know if they're up by 3 and the opposing team has the ball, you know they're going to foul to put them on the free throw line instead of just trying to make them or let them shoot the 3.
That's another foul on the court. But, you know, I got to say, I really like Braden Houston, too. And I think they might give him some more touches later on down the stretch. Very soft touch underneath the basket. Great face-up game. Pretty underrated jump shot. I think this entire team, like we said before, chemistry-wise, like you said before, Jalen, just as a team, and Josh, like you said, as a coach, when you come together and everything just meshes and it works, it becomes a thing of beauty. And pretty much everyone gets the hot hand and they make shots left and right.
Most definitely. And, you know, when you lose games, you know, it doesn't mean that you're terrible. You know, when you lose, it's supposed to teach you and help you better to win for the next game. And, you know, I think Dylan Howard has pretty much put that in their system like, hey, don't hang your heads off. You know, that was yesterday's game. We got to go about the next game, which is tomorrow or the next week. And, you know, I think he instills that. Listen, we're going to make mistakes, but as long as we can capitalize and as long as we can make less mistakes than the previous game, then we will be fine.
And you're right, Jayla. I mean, Dylan Howard, he's doing a great job, you know, finding the offensive game this half, man. I mean, they're going crazy in the post. You know, finding Brandon Houston, Garon Sism with the face-up, and you also got Andre Kennedy. Then you got Trey Todd driving to the basket, making a tough finish.
I really want Dylan Howard to not get his, you know, his shirt, you know, all sweaty and stuff. I'm sorry, you know. He's looking casket sharp tonight, this evening. I see you with the suit pants, the shoes. You got on the brown shoes and the shirt. Don't sweat your shirt out, Coach.
You know, he got to put in work just like he plays, man.
He said casket sharp.
Yes, casket sharp.
Oh, man. Well, you know, when you dress good, you feel good, and you play good. And, you know, is what Dylan Howard pretty much represents. You know, he wants his players to play good, dress good, and, you know, just feel good. Don't, you know, if the shots are not falling for you early, don't worry about it. They will fall soon.
And it's almost blocked at the rim by Trey Todd. Great hustle. But there's a goaltending call. And there's another timeout on the court. A&M leads Alcorn 56-54 with 6:51 to go in the game. We're in for another close extremely close matchup here at Elmore Gymnasium.
Yo.
Trey Todd will inbound for A&M. So, Josh, let me ask you this. What's going to be the key for A&M to make a deep run into the SWAC tournament as the season goes on?
I mean, their defense speaks for everything. I mean, they're doing a great job on the defensive side. So they stay playing with the same defensive game because what they're doing on defense is opening up their offense. So if they just maintain this great defensive thing they're doing, man, they can make a big run to the SWAC tournament.
What about you, Jalen? What do you think is the next factor for A&M to go deep into the tournament?
Really, just the role players. The role players, they can step up when it's time to clutch. They can clutch with them. They can clutch with any team. And I mean, SISM, all the pressure's not always on Andre Kennedy. Andre Kennedy may have a bad night. So therefore, you have to have somebody else. Trey Todd, quick, he can get you rebounds, he can assist, and he also can drive into the basket as well, so he can give you a high percentage of shots. I mean, Jalen Reeder, he is that sharpshooter. You make plays for him to get him that three-pointer, and he will knock him down. And you also have Brandon Miller. You have so many players that, they know their roles, and they can pretty much execute when needed. So what can get them deeper into the SWAC, it's just that the offense, basically.
And speaking of Brandon Miller, he has the ball right now, running point. I think my X factor, plain and simple, is Andre Kennedy, Trey Todd, Jalen Reeder, that three-headed monster. One of the arguably a very, very lethal triple threat here in the conference. You have players like Brandon Houston, the role players as well, coming up through. Big for them. I got to say it comes down, but ultimately to me it comes down to coaching. I think Dylan Howard always has his players prepared to win games, so no matter who they go up against, he always has the right game plan installed to beat whatever opponent it may be that night. I think it's really scary to have a coach with that much experience and seeing all different kinds of basketball teams over the years. He knows how to plan and prepare for any team that he goes up against.
Of course, he knows how to strategize, and what you may think is your weakness can actually benefit for you against an opposing team. If you cannot shoot threes, then, practice on those threes, because that team already thinks that you can't shoot, so they will leave you open more times than none. So it's pretty much just, just works. He just try to get every player to know their strength and weakness and what they can improve on.
Dylan Howard, he does a great job, even though they'll be down. He calls a timeout, get his team to calm down, talk to them, get them back in the game. And when they come back in, they gain the momentum back.
So you're saying we need to practice the things that other teams don't. We should practice the fundamentals that other teams don't expect us to throw at them.
It's something like that. Reggie trying to twist our words. Reggie be trying to find loopholes in everything we say.
Look, okay.
So you mean to say they got to practice harder, huh? Okay.
No, I'm saying they should practice what you don't. You should practice everything that you don't see out of them. So, like, if you don't see A&M come out and shoot threes often, and it's on a team that doesn't really play a great three-point defense, then they should really put an emphasis on three-point shooting and find those consistent three-point shooters in that game.
Most definitely. The art of surprise. Just, whoa, I can't believe that they can shoot threes now. Whoa, wait a minute. We didn't see on the film that they can be that they can post up great inside the paint. It's things like that. You never underestimate your opponent. So even if somebody has a weakness on threes, you still don't leave him open. You still guard him. You still try to play hard defense on that guy, and don't let him get any outside shots.
I see. Kind of like the Lady Bulldogs whenever because people don't expect them to take a lot of threes, and then all of a sudden Lauren McKee makes a three, Nigeria Jones makes a three, Deshaun Harper makes a three, and you're like, wait a minute, hold on. So they can shoot. What are we doing here, Coach?
Exactly. You know, when one thing don't work, you find an alternative. And that's what the Bulldogs, that's what we do best. We find alternatives to get the W.
A&M back on defense, and yeah, I see what you're saying, you know. Try and find different ways to win each week. Throw teams off every single game as much as possible so they don't know what to expect when you face them again. That's another steal for A&M in transition. Miller with the basketball now. Todd, top of the key, three, no good. Kennedy had the rebound, but it's ripped out of his hand. So a 3:32 to go in the game, 60-58.
Our Bulldogs have been playing great tonight. I mean, a competitive, you know, one team gets the lead, but in that second half, the Bulldogs have come back.
Oh.
I mean, scoring 26 points in the first half and now 24 points in the second half.
I mean, that's just pure efficiency, top to bottom, and A&M has played a great game all around, but so has Alcorn. That's why this game is still close at 60-58. But A&M does have the advantage because they do have the lead in this game right now. And I know Dalton Howard's going to drop something to get Alcorn off of their toes. But what will we draw up? We're going to find out very soon. And
definitely. And also, error. This is why I'm not a mathematician. We haven't scored 24 points in the second half. We scored 34 points in the second half.
I seen you using your calculator over here. I'm like,
yeah, man, I had to calculate that. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Something don't add.
Yo.
Out of the timeout right now, 60-58. A&M leads Alcorn right now.
Exactly, 34 points in the second half by the Bulldogs. I mean, offensively, they have improved compared to the first half, guys.
I mean, you're right, Jeremy. Oh, my
And
God.
Sism again with a dunk, an exact replica of what he did Saturday against the Jags.
Well, you know what I like about A&M this game is the balanced attack of Kennedy, Sism, and Trey Todd coming into fruition. Duran Sism, 11.6 rebounds. Andre Kennedy, 12 and 4. Duran Sism, 12 and 3. I mean, just all around.
Okay, going off what you said, Jay. I mean, A&M they're doing a better job on the offensive side. I mean, Duran Sism having a great game, but their defense helping them gain the offense. So they're doing playing a great defensive game.
Definitely, and you know, it's what we talked about. You know, we can't always expect Andre Kennedy to do everything by himself. I mean, he got great players in a Jerome Sism, in a Brandon Miller and Trey Todd. I mean, they have great players that can also help, and the pressure don't have to be on Kennedy. The pressure can be on one of them.
And it's another missed shot. Trey Todd with the basketball now. And
the one. And guys, it's looking like 2001 again. Hot sauce, half man, half amazing.
That Trey Todd with the tough finish. Man, he's a very physical player, man. What do y'all think of Trey Todd game tonight,
He's quick. He is quick on his feet. The way his ball handling is just amazing. He can stop at the drop of a dime, and he can speed it right back up, so you never know how you're going to play against this guy.
I mean, there are some comparisons to Isaiah Thomas back during his MVP caliber season when he put up 28 points per game. I mean, when you think it's only a three-point shooter, he comes out of nowhere and does a very, very strong drive to the hoop and gets the and one plus the finish as well to get him the perfect shot chance for a three-point play. So he's a really, really great all-around pure scorer for A&M.
Man,
go ahead, Josh.
Man, he's not shooting good on the three-point line. So why not take the ball inside and force his way to make a 2-point play?
Exactly, but you know, if you're not good at the three-pointer, he can go inside the paint. When he goes in the lane, he is quick. He literally has an on and off button. As soon as he gets the dribble, he'll stop at the drop of down to his feet. He'll stop at the drop of the down, and then he'll cut it right back on, and he'll drive in, and with the no look, a pass, which will give him an assist. So he contributes a lot more than what we give him credit for.
A&M right now playing a great game, forcing another turnover. They get the ball right back.
You know, there's a minute and 39 seconds left. And, guys, this will be a great win to break the streak. The last win they had over Alcorn State was back in February of 2015, guys.
I mean, fellas, this has been an all-around great game, top to bottom, for A&M. All you have to do is close it out, go for the kill, get the win. Let's go home. You're in prime position to get that done right here, right now.
And if they do win, you know, they will have a better record than they did last year automatically with 4 wins in the SWAC.
In transition is Alcorn. Puts up the 3 off the front iron, rebounded by
Great
Kennedy.
rebound. And this is what you do, guys. You know, you have the ball. It's a minute and 8 seconds left. You're leading this game by 7. You know, just take some time off the clock. Don't rush any shots. Just take your time. And when it gets to that last second, try to shoot it and then hope for a rebound, because they are in control of this game right now, guys.
Here we go. Final minute of the game. Over to SZA. Mid-range jump shot. No good. Rebound,
and that's the rebound. And you know the Bulldogs, all Kennedy has to do, well, he got fouled.
And he will go to the free throw line for 2.
Definitely Kennedy could have passed that ball back out, and they could have still just been running that clock down.
And that's a smart job by number 5 for not taking that three-pointer and just try to take the easy 2.
Definitely. You know, we talked about, you know, Dylan Howard and just what, you know, he's so animated on the sideline, but, you know, he loves his team. He has passion for the game and passion for his team, and, you know, he just wants them to play as well as they can because he knows the potential in his team, and he knows what they can do on a daily basis against any team in the SWAC.
We'll get this, fellas. Grambling lost Saturday. Because of that, if A&M can close out this game like they're going to do right here, they'll be tied with Grambling for 6th in the conference, inching up even close to a top 4 seed going into the tournament. Final 40 seconds of the game. A&M leading 67-58, getting ready to close this game out on home floor. But it's nearly blocked by Kennedy, but regardless, Alcorn gets the tough finish inside. 67-60 now. And it's stolen again. But they get the ball right back. So with 31 seconds left, 61-60, A&M leading by 7. And Dylan Howard's trying to get some signals sent to his team.
And, you know, this will be their 3rd win in a row at home, guys.
Not just their 3rd win in a row. They have not lost at home since the end of SWAC play last year. So they've been on a pretty strong winning streak going back to 2018.
Oh, definitely. And it looks like my prediction came true when I said earlier in this game that they will win against these Alcorn State Braves.
Number 22, Jerron Sizzle. Sizzle's 4th, team's 5th.
You see, I don't doubt my team. It was a gutsy call to predict that. It was a gutsy call to say that on air, but I did.
Josh Smith, the gutsiest call of all last year.
We did.
What was that, Jalen? I meant Riggs.
Lady Bulldogs win the SWAC. That's what it was.
And what a great day for our Bulldogs. I mean, a win for the Lady Bulldogs, a win for the men Bulldogs, and Andre Kennedy puts the nail in the coffin with the thunderous dunk.
Fellas, they've learned how to win. 2nd win in a row. They're going to be stronger than ever as the middle portion of the SWAC season comes up.
And Sizzle again.
And this place is on fire.
And the Bulldogs finish the game. And you see, that's just what happens when you win. Everything is so much better when you win.
Connell Maynard came out and showed his support for Bulldog basketball as well. Fellas, this is a new era of Bulldog athletics. Connell Maynard turned around the football program. Dylan Howard, the basketball program. Coach Richards, the women's basketball program. This era of Bulldogs athletics can be the next step A&M can take to being that dominant power as an athletic program in the SWAC again.
Definitely. And I love about the Bulldogs, they were trailing that first half, but in the second half, they kept their composure. They relaxed. They played it slow. And as soon as they got that slow build-up, they started driving, baby, and that's what led them to this win tonight.
I mean, great playing by the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. I mean, tough, very tough. They never gave up. They played a great defensive game, and they got this win tonight.
Exactly, and this is the reputation when you come here at the Elmore Gym at our house, the Bulldogs, that it's going to be a battle. And if you're not careful, we will take this win and show no mercy.
Well, A&M, they close out home court play this weekend with back-to-back wins for the men's basketball team. The Lady Bulldogs come back and get revenge for tonight against Alcorn State. They're going on the road to take on Texas Southern and Prairie View this upcoming weekend. It's been me, Reginald Reese, with Jalen Herford and Josh Bullitt here presenting you with Bulldog basketball. Have a wonderful evening and be safe, everybody.